في ذلك قسم للهجر ألف تر كيف فعل ربك بأذن إرم ذات الإماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر من الواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها فساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول لي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا قال إذا دكت الأرض دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأن له ذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لي حياة فيومئذ لا يعذب عذاب أحد ولا يؤتكم وتقاه أحد يا أيها النفس المطمئنة أرجي إلى ربك رزية مرزية فادخل في عبادي فلتكن بعبادي وادخلي جنة صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات.
Jazakallah Badaya. That was Sawat for him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I would like to request Brother Miktat to start with Dua Kumail. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء، وبأسمائك التي ملت أركان كل شيء، وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء، وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء. يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك العصام، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقام، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء. اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطية أخطأتها، اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك واستشفع بك إلى نفسك، وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك، اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا. اللهم واسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وامدل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته، اللهم عظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك، ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك، اللهم لا أجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لقبائحي ساترا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك، لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترته وكم من فادح من البلاء أقلته وكم من عثار وقيته وكم من مكروه دفعته وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرته، اللهم عظم بلائي وافرط بي سوء حالي وقصرت بي أعمالي وقعدت بي أغلالي وحبسني عن نفعي بعد آمالي وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بجنايتها ومطالي. يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك ألا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي. ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري، ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا، وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا. إلهي وربي من لي غيرك، أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي، أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي، ولم نحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي، فغرني بما أهوى وأسعده على ذلك القضاء، فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعض حدودك، وخالفت بعض أوامرك، فلك الحجة علي في جميع ذلك، ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاءك، والزمني حكمك وبلاؤك. وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي، معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا، مستغفرا منيبا، مقرا مذعنا معترفا. لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني، ولا مفزعا نتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري، وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري، وارحم شدة ضري، وفكني من شد وثاقي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، ورقة جلدي، ودقة عظمي. يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي، هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي، أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك، وبعد ما انطوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك، ولهج به لساني من ذكرك، واعتقده ضميري من حبك، وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك. هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيته، أو تبعد من ندنيته، أو تشرد من آويته، أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي، أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة، وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة، وبشكرك مادحة، وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة، وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة، وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة، وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنة. ما هكذا الظن بك، ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب. وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها، وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه، قليل مكسوه، يسير بقاؤه، قصير مدته. فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض يا سيدي. فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الضليل الحقير المسكين المستكين؟ يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أضج وأبكي؟ لأليم العذاب وشدته، أم لطول البلاء ومدته؟ فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك، فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني صبرت على حر نارك، فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا، لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآملين، ولا صرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولا بكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولو نادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين؟ يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي. فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرق لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه؟ أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه؟ أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رب؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات ما ذلك الظن بك، ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين يقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحديك وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين وأنت جل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه يجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم نجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح أسررته وكل جهل عملته كتمته أو أعلنته أخفيته أو أظهرته وكل سيئة نمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم وبرحمتك أخفيته وبفضلك سترته وأن توفر حظي من كل خير أنزلته أو إحسان فضلته أو بر نشرته أو رزق بسطته أو ذنب تغفره أو خطأ تستره يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا رب يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي يا من بيده ناصيتي يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا رب أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي في الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب قو على خدمتك جوارحي، واشدد على العزيمة جوانحي، وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك، حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين، وأسرع إليك في البارزين، واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين، وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين، وأخافك مخافة الموقنين، واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرد، ومن كادني فكد، واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك، وأقربهم منزلة منك، وأخصهم زلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك، وجد لي بجودك، واعطف علي بمجدك، واحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك متيما، ومن علي بحسن إجابتك، وأقل لي عثرتي، واغفر زلتي، فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك، وأمرتهم بدعائك، وضمنت لهم الإجابة، فإليك يا ربي نصبت وجهي، وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي، فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي، وبلغني مناي، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي، يا سريع الرضا، يا رضا، يا سريع الرضا، اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء، يا من اسمه دواء، وذكره شفاء، وطاعته غنى، ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء، وسلاحه البكاء، يا سابغ النعم، يا دافع النقام، يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام، يا عالما لا يعلم، صل على محمد وآل محمد، وافعل بي ما أنت أهله، وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله، وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. فاتحة.
جزاك الله brother Miqdad. Loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajal farajam. Quick reminder to everyone, there is what do you call sponsorship poster posted so please for Ramadan program, so please sign up. You can sign up your names with any of the BOT members. Now I'd like to request Brother Shazal to recite the Qasida.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اس بات سے ظاہر ہے رتبہ علی اکبر کا، اس بات سے ظاہر ہے رتبہ علی اکبر کا، ہوتا ہے اذانوں میں چرچا علی اکبر کا، اس ماں کا مقدر بھی کیا خوب مقدر ہے، اس ماں کا مقدر بھی کیا خوب مقدر ہے کہ جس ماں کو بھی مل جائے صدقہ علی اکبر کا، کہ جس ماں کو بھی مل جائے صدقہ علی اکبر کا، اے حر تیری قسمت کا کیا چمکا ستارہ ہے، اے حر تیری قسمت کا کیا چمکا ستارہ ہے، کیا صبح کو دیکھا تھا چہرہ علی اکبر کا، کہ کیا صبح کو دیکھا تھا چہرہ علی اکبر کا، پوچھا گیا یوسف سے جب حسن کے بارے میں، پوچھا گیا یوسف سے جب حسن کے بارے میں، ہنس کر کہا یہ تو ہے صدقہ علی اکبر کا، ہنس کر کہا یہ تو ہے صدقہ علی اکبر کا، شبیر جھلاتے تھے عباس کے جھولے کو، شبیر جھلاتے تھے عباس کے جھولے کو، عباس جھلاتے ہیں جھولا علی اکبر کا، عباس جھلاتے ہیں جھولا علی اکبر کا، یہ رتبہ اکبر ہے حیدر کے گھرانے میں، یہ رتبہ اکبر ہے حیدر کے گھرانے میں، کہ آغوش ہے زینب کی جھولا علی اکبر کا، کہ آغوش ہے زینب کی جھولا علی اکبر کا، گر اذن وغا ملتا تو کفار کا یہ لشکر گر اذن وغا ملتا تو کفار کا یہ لشکر عباس کا آدھا تھا، آدھا علی اکبر کا، عباس کا آدھا تھا، آدھا علی اکبر کا۔ پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات۔
ماشاء اللہ لاؤد سے اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔ میں گزارش کروں گا بدر آصف سے کہ واقعہ عباس آصف سے کہ
بار دیگر صلوات۔ چھوٹے شہزادے کی منقبت ہے شہزادے علی اصغر علیہ السلام کی، بڑے شہزادے کا کہانی ہے تو جو ہے پیش کر رہا ہوں۔ ایک آواز بلند صلوات پڑھیں محمد و آل محمد پر۔ زمیں پر عرش کے تاروں کو ہم بچھاتے ہوئے، زمیں پر عرش کے تاروں کو ہم بچھاتے ہوئے، خوشی مناتے ہیں اصغر کی گھر سجاتے ہوئے، خوشی مناتے ہیں اصغر کی گھر سجاتے ہوئے۔ اب کی بیداری کو دیکھنا چاہ رہا ہوں کہ نہ ہم تھکے ہیں فضائل کبھی سناتے ہوئے، نہ ہم تھکے ہیں فضائل کبھی سناتے ہوئے، تھکیں نہ آپ بھی نعرہ کبھی لگاتے ہوئے۔ ایک درود پڑھتے محمد وآل محمد۔ اللہم صل۔ تھکیں نہ آپ بھی نعرہ کبھی لگاتے ہوئے۔ شعر دیکھیے کہ چمن میں حضرت شبیر کے ہیں پھول کھلا، چمن میں حضرت شبیر کے ہیں پھول کھلا، خبر سنائیے بلبل نے چہچہاتے ہوئے، خبر سنائیے بلبل نے چہچہاتے ہوئے، دوام بخشا ہے اصغر نے دین احمد کو، دوام بخشا ہے اصغر نے دین احمد کو، لوٹا دی جان گلے تیر کو لگاتے ہوئے، لگا دی لوٹا دی جان گلے تیر کو لگاتے ہوئے، امام وقت کی آواز پر پہنچ جانا، امام وقت کی آواز پر پہنچ جانا، سکھایا جھولے سے اصغر نے خود ہی جاتے ہوئے، سکھایا جھولے سے اصغر نے خود ہی جاتے ہوئے، قبولیت کی سند ہم کو مل گئی فوراً، قبولیت کی سند ہم کو مل گئی فوراً، दुआ जो की तेरे झूले के पास आते हुए, दुआ जो की तेरे झूले के पास आते हुए। मिसरा हुआ था कि पयाम हक दिया असगर ने मुस्कुराते हुए। शिकस्त खा के जो बातिल की फौज रोने लगी, शिकस्त खा के जो बातिल की फौज रोने लगी, पयाम हक दिया असगर ने मुस्कुराते हुए, पयाम हक दिया असगर ने मुस्कुराते हुए। मक्ता देखिए कि चलेंगे कर वो बला साथ आपके आसिफ, चलेंगे कर वो बला साथ आपके आसिफ, कसीदा पढ़ते हुए मनक़बत सुनाते हुए, कसीदा पढ़ते हुए मनक़बत सुनाते हुए। दुरूद पढ़ दे मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद।
Jazakallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Couple of quick announcements. Jummah will be at noon here, so please be on time for tomorrow. Again, a reminder: the Ramadan sponsorship chart is outside, so please sign up for the Tabarruk. For your Marhumin, for Marhumin whose name is on the Monument of Zahra, and for Marhumin of tonight's sponsors, Marhum Hussain Ali Burani, Marhuma Ruqayya Banu Badami, Marhum Abbas Badami, and Marhumin of Burhani, Badami, Dhala, Al Nakash, and Hingwala families, please cite the life. Rahman. I would like to request Sayyid Hadi Yasin to say the speech. With loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. By the Digar salawat. Allahumma salli ala.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Congratulations to all of you this amazing ayyam, days and nights of month of Sha'ban, ayyam of the Viladat and birthdays of Alhamdulillah, the Anwar of Sha'ban, the Anwar of Karbala, and great personalities and leaders, Imams, Alhamdulillah. It's interesting, and also the Viladat of Hazrat Ali Akbar alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Looks like month of Sha'ban, the most important night before Ramadan, became the night of the month of those who participated in Karbala. And there is hikmah and reason, of course, before we go towards the night of Qadr, we have to go through the process of month of Rajab, month of Sha'ban. The last, important occasion of Sha'ban, Viladat of our beloved Imam of Zaman, Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And you see that four of the figures of Karbala, I believe there is hikmah and wisdom behind this for all of us, inshallah, to keep in mind, and responsibilities that we have. When we talk about Karbala, very quickly, inshallah, have some important information about Hazrat Ali Akbar, inshallah, we go to the topic of tafsir that we have. When we think about this, we might might come to our mind that when we talk about Shuhada of Karbala, they're all elders who, they didn't have anything else to do, so they were okay to, at the end of their life, spend their life for the sake of Imam Hussein and become shaheed. What's better than that, right? You become like Hazrat Habib, and then at the end of your life, you spend for the sake of Allah. We think the majority are this way, which indeed, no, we have a lot of those who are in the younger ages in Karbala. Indeed, Hazrat Abul Fadl Abbas, he's around 34. Imam Sajjad is around 22. These are the average age that the Akbar are saying it. Hazrat Ali Akbar around 25, 27. We have Qasim is a teenager. We have all the children of Karbala that we have. The sons of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the brothers of Hazrat al-Fazl Abbas, are 19, 18, something like that, right? All those names, all those stories that you heard about, right? Qasim stands up at night of Ashura, said so and so. Hazrat Ali Akbar throughout the path to Karbala said so and so. Hazrat al-Fazl Abbas, this Qamar Bani Hashim, he's like, so when they're young, they didn't have desires, didn't have wishes, didn't have the future, right? Absolutely. And with basirat and intuition that they spend their life and everything they had, as ayat of Quran, we did tafsir together, that you should spend everything you have, anfusakum, amwalakum fi sabilillah, right? Everything that they had for the sake of Allah, they gave. There is a special, focus on Hazrat Ali Akbar, although the fortunate part of Karbala and the figures of Karbala is that we just only hear about them in Musibat. And we just cry for them. Yeah, unfortunately, Hazrat Ali Akbar, this happened to him. But who was Ali Akbar? What made him to be Ali Akbar? He's older than Imam Sajjad. If he was not, technically what I'm saying is wrong, but if he became Shaheed in Karbala, he was the next Imam, right? Muawiyah Mal'un, he asked people around, do you know who is worthy of being the Khalifa? The Caliph? He says, who? You, Ya Allah, mashallah, right? No. He says, who? He says, Ali, son of Hussein. He is worthy of become. Imagine among everyone, he's mentioning him, the worst enemy, by the way. He is the one who is worthy to become, because he is the one who has the best taqwa and the closest to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it is important we take these names out of the musibat. Let's analyze them, because if we don't analyze their life in terms of learning from them, right? If we don't know who they are, we just cry for what, right? We have to understand what made them to become who they are. Why we sit here and do poetry for them? Why do we give speeches for them? Why Muharram and Safar for them? Who are these people? This most famous statement that Imam said about him, that Ali Akbar is ashbahun nas khalqan wa khulqan wa mantaqan bi Rasulillah. I don't think anyone us, not just even higher than us, we could truly understand what does it mean. What does it mean that he was the khulqan? There's no privilege in this. He looked like Rasulullah. It was out of his control. He didn't do anything to look like Rasulullah, right? Allah wanted him to look like Rasulullah. Although it's so amazing that he reminded everyone about Rasulullah. Imam says, when I missed my grandfather, I look at Ali Akbar. So amazing, right? Imagine someone reminds you of Allah. They look at you, they remind you of Allah. They might invite you, there's a party, there's a wedding, there's a gathering, says, that family, no, we can't invite them. Why? Because we do something wrong here and they really don't like these things. Amazing that people call us, they know us, we do not attend this wrong haram majalis. That's amazing. Please don't invite us, right? And sometimes it's if you want to come later. So when everything is done, so you come. If they're gonna do ghaibat, she came. She's gonna be upset. Last time we did ghaibat and she stood up and she left, right? That's amazing that we remind people about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our children, right? This family, mashallah, Thursday night, no program. We cannot invite any house things because they're gonna go to masjid. Beautiful, amazing, right? I remember, I grew up, my father had jalsa that every Tuesday night, dua tawassul and Quran and everything, tafsir of Quran, since I remember, right? I was little. So anyone and the friends and families, anyone, they knew that this family are not available on Tuesday night. It's going to be party, wedding, they're not going to come. Sometimes I remember they wanted to have party, wedding for like some of the family members. No, don't make it because they can't come. Right? So reminding us about khair, reminding to sit down with us. So they were looking at him, the khulq, the khalq, the figure, the picture, how he looked like Rasulullah, right? But more important than the first one, khalqan is what? Khulqan wa mantiqan. Khulq. We're not talking about the khulq of Abu Zar Ghifari. We're not talking about khulq of Salman Farsi, Habib ibn Madahir, about Fadl Abbas. We're talking about khulq of Rasulullah, the most important factor that made him successful. Rasulullah, right? Quran says, if it was not for the sake of you having this great, lenient, lan faddu min hawlik, everyone will be away from you. Allah wants to praise His Prophet. Imagine, Allah wants to praise His Prophet. How should He praise him? You're so beautiful. You're so generous. You're so kind. No, He says, إِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ. Your khulq is azim. Now we have to talk about tafsir of this. What does it mean, khulq azim? Why azim? Why not husna khulq? Right? We'll talk about it another time. Why He didn't say, yeah, mashallah, Allah says you have a husna khulq, right? No. إِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ. Then this person who have never met Rasulullah, Ali Akbar alayhi salatu wasalam, right? He's the one who has the closest khulq, nature, akhlaq, inner personality to Rasulullah. He didn't sit down with him, never seen him, his grandfather, right? What he did, he followed the khulq of Rasulullah. The same thing that we can do, right? He followed what Rasulullah was, what he promoted, and what he did, and then he became Rahmatan al-Alamin Rasulullah. He's the one who is the closest to Rasulullah, right? And going back, he became Ali Akbar because of this thing. Because of the khulq that he followed. Khulqan wa mantiqan. Who knows what the mantiq means here? What does it mean, logic? The logic of Rasulullah, what does it mean? What does it mean? Not the etymology of that. What does it mean? What is the mantiq of Rasulullah? Wisdom, okay. What else? Huh? Intellect, what does it mean? Like he was smart like Rasulullah? Same as us, okay. Like what? In what way? I'm going to connect this to, inshallah, if you go to. And what was the logic of Rasulullah? Based on Allah's guidance and hikmah and wisdom, right? Anyone else? Sirat. What do you mean by that? Follow the same sirah of Rasulullah. What else? Anyone else, sisters? His thought process. Interesting. What do you mean? Hmm. How did he look at things, Rasulullah? Based on what? You're doing good, by the way. Don't hesitate. What, based on what Rasulullah was making decision? What was the logic? Based on what? Wisdom he got from Allah. Divine guidance. Okay, we're getting closer, sister. The pleasure of Allah. What else? Can you summarize it in one word? Rasulullah was doing everything based on haqq. The pleasure of Allah, right? And the mantiq of Ali Akbar was everything based on haqq. Awalasna alal haqq. When he heard, he didn't know what's going to happen, right? When they were going towards Karbala, when he heard Imam Hussain says, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, says, what happened, father? He says, yes, I have the dream that I saw that the angel of death is following us. This caravan is going the angels. The first thing he asked, he's young. He has the position. Everyone respect him. He's the grandson of Rasulullah. What else do you want, right? The first thing he asked, Awalasna ala al-haq. Aren't we on haqq? It looks like everything yaduru ala al-haq, right? Al-haqqu ma'a Ali wa aliyun ma'a haqq. Everything is about haqq, right? Are we on the right path? Yes. Khalas, there's no other question. Father, how about, can we find a detour? Can we go secretly here? Can we talk to them? Let's be mantiq, let's be very, very logical here, right? From the other side. Can we sit down, do negotiation with them, Father? Maybe they will talk to us. Khalas. Taslim and mantiq of Rasulullah, which is haqq. That's it. My father, no. My imam is telling me, this is where we go. Khalas. Razi bi of Allah, right? When he wants it, I want it as well, right? He says, no, nobali and namut muhiqqeen. There's no issue to die being muhiq, being on haq. What's the problem? You see the mantiq of him? If we follow the same mantiq, and also another way of mantiq is the way that he was talking, the process of his deliberating and everything, right? If we have this mantiq of Rasulullah, mantiq of haq, mantiq of anbiya, that whatever we want to do, rotate it around haqq. Is this correct to do it? Is this correct to say it? Is this correct to do this parenting, this marriage, these things, or not? This business, this purchase, this gathering, this wedding, this everything. Rasulullah did everything, like I mentioned. You see, here, if you want to come to this room, you have to come from this part, right? You cannot skip it or over there, right? Imagine there's one entrance. You have to go through this. You cannot skip it, come from the sky. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and haqq in the life of Rasulullah al-Bayt is right at the entrance. Whatever they want to do, they have to go through the filter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For some people, Allah is the last resort. Business, make money, is a good business plan, everything is fine. Maybe at the end, is this okay as well or not to do it? Some people don't even think it. Stock market, let's invest it. Maybe they invest in the, wine companies and wineries and everything. Maybe it's something haram. Get difficult. For others, I have seen youth call me. I want to invest something. Is that okay? This company or that company? Before anything else, before how much I make profit out of it, is this Islamically okay and haqq okay or not? The first things I go through it is, right? Marriage, before anything else, how much situation, money, family, culture, what is the iman of that person? Which everything is in that iman of the person, right? That's the mantiq of Rasulullah. That's the mantiq of Ali Akbar. Let's move forward, which actually, it's very, very, very interesting that is connected to what we're going to talk about tonight. Surah Luqman, we are doing the tafsir of Surah Luqman together. Last ayah we did together, it was this ayah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We're at the beginning of this surah. This is the fourth ayah, I believe. Bali, yes, the fourth. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون. Right? This muhsaneen that you see here, this muhsaneen, the righteous people, who are they? Those people, just for a little bit of reviewing. يقيمون الصلاة, they perform salah. يؤتون الزكاة, they pay their zakat. They have yaqeen bil akhirah, These people, ala hudan min rabbihim. These people indeed are in the right side. أولئك هم المفلحون. They're in the right side. So who are the people against this? محسن. ومن الناس من يشتري لهو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذها هزوا أولئك لهم عذاب. There is a man among the people. When it says man, it's just in general, right? It's just a concept of human being who buys. Don't pay attention to this English translation. Lahwa al-hadith. We're going to talk about it. What is lahwa al-hadith? Something that is distracting. We'll talk about it. From the haqq. لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. So that he may mislead people from the way of Allah. وَيَتَّخِذَهَا هُزُوًا. And indeed he goes further than that. Makes fun of ayat of Allah, right? أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. For these people, there is a very, very painful and disgraceful, punishment that will come. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ. Let me go to lahw al-hadith. Lahw, who knows what's the meaning of lahw? Lahw al-laib, you heard about this, right? What is the meaning of lahw? What does it mean? Something that has no positive outcome. That's very debatable. They can do lahw and it's positive, they become happy. Leads to wrongdoing. What do you mean by wrongdoing? Okay, leads to haram. Lahw. Not necessarily. Can be not leading to haram, but still lahw. Useless activity. What's the characteristics of that useless activity? Anyone else? There's no right or wrong. Anything comes to your mind? Lahw. That's correct. Anything that there's no usage in it, right? But what's the characteristics of that? So what will happen when you waste your resources? Anything. What does it mean? What are you losing? Beside that. Lahw is anything that distracts you from something important. Right? Anything that is more important. If you're busy with something that doesn't make sense to do it, you're spending time on something that is not important, and you are not spending time on something that is more important. Anything in general, right? Lahw al-hadith, we'll talk about this, is whatever distracts you indeed from haqq and truth, from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is lahw al-hadith. Anything you can imagine. It can be any absurd poetry, lyrics. Absolutely one of the best examples are the haram music here, right? Some absurd stories. You might just, some junk movies. You just, at the end, you're watching, so what was that? Right? It's totally waste of time, right? You could spend that on something important. I'm not saying necessarily, So lahw al-hadith is destroying the path of haqq. Distract person from the path of haqq. Now my question to you is this. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ. What does it mean? يَشْتَري, yes. Ishtira means to purchase, right? What comes to your mind? A person, people who purchase lahw al-hadith. What does it mean they purchase? I know, but no, we said that lahw al-hadith can be general, more than that, right? It can be anything that takes the people, which is the part of it, from the path of haqq. So what does it mean they purchase? Okay? What comes to your mind? What else? Go above and beyond thinking about it. I'll give you some examples. Look at these examples. Haram music, some stories, superstitions, things that people pay for it. Yashtari here is not necessarily transaction money-wise. It can be any effort, any struggle towards gaining it, right? Let's go a little bit of the translation and then we go what exactly means. Those people or the person, yashtari lahw al-hadith, they put a struggle in spending money or struggle to get something that is lahw al-hadith. Keep them away from the path of haqq. لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. That person, he's the leader of this lahw al-hadith. He's going to purchase this to what? To distract people from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the connection between lahw al-hadith and distractions from the path of Allah? Someone tells me now. The logic here. You see it? Just can't see it, right? Inshallah, or it's too little. Yeah? Make it larger. So what's the, if I make it larger, so it's going to go out of the screen. So what is the difference? What is the connection between lahw al-hadith, keeps people from the path of Allah, and sabilillah? لَيُضِلَّ عَنْ sabilillah means keep them away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any lahw al-hadith, anything that distract people, in terms of all these examples that I gave, they make people what? Go against the path of Allah, away from the path of Allah. Mufassirin specifically giving the example of music here. And they're talking about this. Indeed, the Jashn and nuzul of this ayah, there are two Jashn and nuzul. Jashn and nuzul means why this ayah came. One, there's a guy called Nazr ibn Harith. This guy, he was purchasing stories from Persian at that time, at the beginning of Islam. And he was going to Mecca and Medina. Says, you know what? Muhammad is telling you the stories about Qawm so-and-so, Qawm this, and this prophet and that prophet, because the stories were fun for that time to hear it about, even Quran. But I have a lot of stories from Rustam and Isfandiyar, so listen to these things, right? So he was keeping people away from Quran and listening to Rasulullah and amuse them with what? These junk stories, right? So let me tell you about this Qahraman, this Pahlawan, so and so from Persia, that did this and that, this, right? Keep them. The second one, Sha'an al-Nuzul, which many of the Mufassirin are saying, there was a person, he purchased a kaniz who was reciting for him and music and haram things and everything, and you know, just like qina and haram. And this ayah came for that. So there are many people who yashtari lahw al-hadith. How many applications we have that they can purchase lahw al-hadith? This application that, you know, purchasing, we're talking about haram, right? Okay, so let's no one get, oh my God, what happened? So at least let's stay in that side. And this is the nature of lahw al-hadith. لَيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. You know, distract them from the path of Allah. بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. Many of these people don't even know. It's out of ignorance. They don't know there are some people investing on them to be amused with lahw al-hadith to be away from the path of Allah. Allahu Akbar. It looks like this ayah is exactly for our time. This is the mu'jiz of Quran, right? 1400 years ago, but it's about today. Some people are investing on entertainment industry for the sake of keeping people away from the path of Allah with this amusement that it brings to them and excitement. Yes, it's exciting, right? To listen to this, to do this, to this, that, right? This junk things or that. بِغَيْرِ ilm. Many people don't know. This is the mission behind. They let their children watch whatever comes to watch. They watch themselves whatever comes watched. Imam Qasim alayhi salatu wasalam said, whatever voice you listen to, you will be the barda and the slave of that voice. Allahu Akbar. To whatever you listen to, you become the slave of that. Imagine, who am I going to be slave of? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a slave of so-and-so who is dancing and singing and satanic lyrics that we know what's going on. I have examples from them. I did research about this lyrics, some of these big quote-unquote celebrities, they recite against, directly now satanic and against the path of Allah. In any forms, not just Islam. Spirituality in general, right? I wish I could even go to the names to tell you this name, this song, this specific lyrics, this and that, you know. بغير علم. Without having ilm and understanding what is happening. وَيَتَّخِذَهَا هُزُوًا. No, indeed, they are making the reason. They make fun of what? Path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sabilullah means what? Quran. Means ma'arif of Allah. Means hikmah. Means hikmah that you mentioned, hikmah of Rasulullah, right? Mantiq of Rasulullah. They're going actually making fun of that. Because lahwul hadith would destroy the ma'arif of Allah, right? These wrong things is lahwul hadith. Haram music is lahwul hadith. And it's haram to be purchased. Yes, the transaction is haram. The subscription is haram. Listening to it is haram. Let's talk about this. You know, there's a study just came out from so-and-so university. They said, what did Ali Akbar said? وَلَسْنَا عَلَى الْحَقِّ. Are we haq? Khalas. Did he say no? Khalas. I know he made this and he said, don't drop it to the water. Why am I going to debate with the water? No, how about this? How about the water is actually the soft water? Huh? How about it's the soda, not about the water? How about is the Pakistani Indian chai, right? Doesn't matter. Don't debate on this. You shouldn't drink. Khalas. Correct? Allah says no to something. Khalas. Yes, in terms of understanding, yes. Let's go research, tahqiq, get more information. Not to go against it. Right? Mantiq of Ali Akbar. Who is mantiq of who? The logic, the process, the thought process. ليضل عن سبيل الله ويتخذ هزوا وأولئك لهم عذاب مهين. Allahu Akbar. For these people who provide for others to distract them from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? Azab alim. Azab muhin, sorry. A very disgraceful. Muhin means like disrespecting them, putting them down. Disgraceful. Azab and punishment for these people. Right? That are doing this. So then the nature of lahwul hadith is what? No one can say, let me listen to this, let me be involved with this, let me go to this lahwul hadith gathering and stuff like that, for example, what I'm hearing, or this story and this movie, I'm still going to be fine. And my iman, I promise you I'm going to pray my salat on time. That doesn't work with this. No, either this or that. Imam told someone, either you're friend with me or you're friend with that guy. Imam said. One of his companions. He says, but you know what? I'm very careful when I'm with him. So it doesn't matter. Either you're with me or with him. You choose between me and him. You can be friends with both. Haqq and batil don't get together. So the huwiyyat and mahiyyat of, this is this, the lahwul hadith. These people are ignorant, بغير علم. Why? They are ready to spend money and effort to purchase lahwul hadith, but not to listen to ayat of Allah and hikmat of Rasulullah for free. Isn't it ignorance? They're ready to spend on other things, go further, be distracted by it, but some of the issues that they can cause. Who can help me with this? You might have done some research and heard somewhere. When it comes to haram, lahwul hadith, haram music, what are the issues that it can cause? Because if you talk to some people, they're very beneficial. There are some benefit comes with some of these things. But it's very temporary. It's like drug. The drug, if you ask those who are drug addict, ask them about the benefit. Come with me, you're going to fly together, You're going to forget all the issues. But when you come down, the su'ud happen, right? What will happen? You crash with your head, right? Aftermath, go see them, right? The whole mess. It might, let's be honest, it might help somehow, feel something, jump up and down. Oh my God, we had so much fun. After that, the crying, the depression, the anxieties, the panic attack, they'll go see that part as well. And when they come to experts, right? Some of the issues, let me give you some hints. The whole nature, when it keeps you away from the path of Allah, what it brings? Ghaflat, negligence, going against the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? It brings corruptions. Not look at all these big concerts and stuff like that are happening. What do they do over there? It's like, what's the nature? What comes out of it? Think about it, right? Second, throughout the whole. This is the nature of haram music that destroyed the effat. It destroys the, chastity and haya specifically. It destroys haya. Forget about the lyrics and everything, right? That are promoting. Forget about nowadays how they dress and how they present. Even forget about that part. This is how it is. This is the nature. Destroys things. Lahw al-hadith. لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. To distract people from what? The path of Allah. Weeks and weeks, month of month, they don't even remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Physical effect and mental effect on it. Inshallah, another time go to the physical, just Google it, it's all being studied. The effect of it physically, blood pressure, everything that raised so much, because the excitement comes with, imbalances in the body as well, right? Why the big accident happened, why they are listening to some big type of music that, that make them so excited, out of their control. They can't control. There was a police report. I've signed myself in the university, that make people certain music. They can't control over, they don't have control over their organs, like the body and then hands and everything. The mind is not intact. So, and then they go so fast. Kind of, intoxication in this form. And mental. Huge. There are many studies that some sort of music, how they can make things, mentally. But this is another discussion. Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Inna as-sam'a wal-basara wal-fu'ad kullu ulaika kana anhu mas'ula. Yes, your sam, your ears, your eyes, your hearts, all, they have responsibilities. You can't just say, it's my ears. No, these are all the entrance towards what? To what? Your soul, your heart. I don't think you eat any food that is presented to you, do you? Oh, you check it, you make sure it's healthy. Expiration date, ingredients. Oh my God, there are a lot of things, do not put this in your mouth. This is very. How about all these foods of souls that we're taking so easily, watching them, watching movies, the music. And imagine I'm putting these earphones on my youth, how close it is to my brain. The brain is supposed to be somewhere that is reflecting the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And constantly being the beeps and beeps and beeps and affected by that and lyrics and haram and things and this is watching something he's not supposed to watch. Well, what am I expecting from that person? You know what's the worst part? Sometimes we become so sensitive about certain things, listening. It's just a movie, it's just a cartoon, it's just something I don't even understand. That 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds of that haram things is still affecting. It's not a 5 seconds effect. God knows it's 5,000 seconds effect of that on myself and my children. It's just that, the beginning. It's going to go. It's not going to go anywhere. No, it's going to stay. Specifically in the hearts of kids, they record everything. Stays there, right? The effect stays there with them. The ayah Quran, كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. They're all مسؤول means what? مسؤولية, responsibility, taklif. Accountable. They're accountable. You're accountable. This is hadith. At the day of judgment, will go complain against the person. This eye will go complain against the person. This was the trust of Allah. This was the trust of Allah. She did haram with me. I was not satisfied. I was the makhluq of Allah. Now, Bismillah. Now I have to respond to my ears on the day of judgment. Sorry, brother. Right? Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wasalam said, we still have 45 minutes, right? Starting now. You, inshallah, sit here and I'm going to sit here. 40 minutes. They're going to go. Look at the hadith of La khayra fi ladhatin min ba'dahan. There's no khair in a pleasure. At the end of that pleasure is the hellfire. Looks like there is lazzat. Imam is not ignoring it. Imam is not saying listening to that, watching to this, not, there's a pleasure comes with it. Those parties, those gatherings, there's some sort of quote unquote pleasure. Ba'dahan nar. There's no khair. You know what? Yes, the psychologist says, listen to this, do this, mashallah, inshallah. There's no khair into this coming. I mean, another hadith says, if medically doctor tells you have to eat something haram, okay, doctor says you have to eat it. Amir says, but I promise you there's no khair into that haram. No shifa comes from haram. If it was supposed to be, Allah would make this halal. Right? Allah would never make something that brings shifa haram. Yes, medically, sharat is saying it's okay to do it, right? There's no shifa in it. Be careful. La khair in general, right? It's not going to help you. It's gonna, when there's no khair, what is it? Opposite of khair? Shar. Where there's no khair in it, there's shar in it. Be careful, right? Very quickly finish with this. وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِ آيَاتُنَا وَلَّا مُسْتَكْبِرًا كَأَن لَّمْ يَسْمَعْهَا كَأَنَّ فِي أُذُنَيْهِ وَقْرًا فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. And when these people who we talked about, right? These people here who are مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ, they do this and they're so into it. When the ayat of Quran تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِ, when our verses are recited to this person, Allahu Akbar, Walla mustakbiran, they put their back towards it. Turn away from ayat of Allah. This is the result of those haram pleasures, by the way. Haram things, haram lahw al-hadith, haram music things. Walla mustakbiran. Istikbar means arrogance. You might have heard istikbar, right? Mustakbiran. Come on, what is it? Allahu Akbar, astaghfirullah, right? كَأَن لَمْ يَسْمَعْهَا, as if they haven't heard about this. This is the most respectful part. Like you're talking to someone, right? They act like they didn't hear you. God forbid, like your children sometimes. This is the most respectful part, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. This is disrespectful. Put your back to me and leave. They do this with ayat of Allah. كأن لم يسمعها كأن في أذنيه وقرا. Allah is giving more example. Like there is a heaviness. Waqr is something that you can't hear, right? Like earplugs, something heavy. As if there's something in the ears they cannot listen. فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. This is very sarcastic way Allah is putting them down. Bisharat is something good, good news. فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. Give them this good news that azim, very azab alim and painful is waiting for them. Act like, no, what? So the tools, the mantiq of the enemies of Allah, what is it? We talked about mantiq of Rasulullah. What is the mantiq of the enemies of Rasulullah? What is it? Distracting from the haqq. Ahsan. Is lahv. The mantiq of the enemies of Allah is lahv. Is distractions. It's not hikmah. It's not wisdom. It's just amusement. It's just nafs. Whatever your nafs is like. Said, go for it. Don't worry. No, just do whatever. Yeah. You know what new things that's happening? Sweetheart, whatever you want. Don't worry. Don't put pressure on yourself. No. Your parents said this. Do it. Make yourself tired. No. Do whatever you want to do. Nafs, whatever is no. Do whatever your nafs says no. Says yes, and the opposite of that. Yes, stay hungry. Let your children feel hunger. Let your children feel thirst. Let them feel, what's the meaning of no? We can have it by explaining and everything. You understand what I mean, right? By saying, this is the reason, but no, we can't have it. Oh my God. No. Let them see the reality. Let them raise to say no to the nafs as well, right? Of course, different ages, different levels, psychological. But no one says what. These people, you might talk to them, you might hear them. They don't even want to listen to haqq. If they don't want to even listen to haqq, how they want to follow it, right? Remember, I heard about this at the beginning of Islam. They were covering their ears when they were going through the Kaaba. They were covering their ears. Why? It says, Na'udhu billah, na'udhu billah. This sahir, Muhammad is reciting Quran, is sihr. It's magic. They were covering their ears not to listen to it. How absurd and ignorant they are, right? How they want to follow. It would take us away from accepting haqq, this lahw al-hadith. It's very, very dangerous. Another thing, istikbar, mustakbiran, leads to rejecting haqq. Not listening to haqq is also istikbar in front of Allah. Haram, purposely committing haram, is istikbar in front of Allah. So you said, I need to pray, I don't want to pray. Is awwal waqt, you told me that I should pray awwal waqt, I don't pray awwal waqt. It's different than if I don't have time, I get distracted, that's different, right? Like I'm sitting here, Allahu Akbar, yeah, it's a good voice. So what? Stand up. Hayya ala khair al-amal. Yeah, inshallah, I'll do it. Hayya. Stand up. Run towards this, right? Ajala. No. Yes, so these are all the points, inshallah, we keep in mind. You see, alhamdulillah, these are the ayat Surah Luqman, as you can see, alhamdulillah, how as if it is connected to our daily life. So very useful, inshallah, we'll keep mind. By the way, I'm just touching the base and it will bring the excuse for all of us to do more research, do more, inshallah, tahqiq on these things and be able to follow these things. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum. Allahumma ajjal waliyaka al-faraj, al-afiyata wal-nasr, wa mudda fi umrihi al-sharif. زين الأرض بطول بقائه واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وشيعته يا رحمن يا رحيم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. بحق الحسين يا الله بحق علي Akbar, hasten the dhuhr of Imam's sons, Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, let us and our generation to be among the best of the followers of our Imam. Do not let anyone from our generation to be against the path of Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Keep us away from anything that distracts us from you and from your path. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, help our youth, let them be strong in the path of Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, those around the world, they have hajat and requests. My respected brothers and sisters, give them khair hajat. Those who are under difficulties all around the world, Pakistan, in Turkey, in Lebanon, in Syria, those all around, they have difficulties. Bihaqq Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, provide comfort and safety for all of them. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, those who are sick, cure them, and those who passed away, send the thabab and reward from our gathering to their souls. Rahimallah man yaqra'u al-Fatihata ma'a salawat.
وعلى زيارة الإمام الحسين عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي الله، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله، السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا وارث علي أمير المؤمنين ولي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى، السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور، أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. ولعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها،
ولم تلبسك من مظلمات ثيابها، وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين، وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي، وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا، وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله إني بكم مؤمن وبي بكم موقن، بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي، وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. زيارة حضرت علي أكبر عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. زيارة حضرت عباس. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك أيها العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله. أشهد أنك قد جاهدت ونصحت وصبرت حتى أتاك اليقين. لعن الله الظالمين لكم من الأولين والآخرين، ولحقهم بدرك الجحيم. زيارة شهداء عليه السلام. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه، السلام عليكم يا أسفياء الله وأوداءه، السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا أنصار فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الزكي الناصح، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله، بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم، وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم، وفزتم فوزا عظيما، ويا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته.